We are back here on Girl Talk, and we've taken a little jaunt out to Bluffton to custom audio video. I am joined by Iain Brown. He's our residential designer here at CAV. Great showroom, as always. We're in the conference room, so I feel very, very official in the big chairs.
Me too.
We're going to get down to basics, kind of like you're helping me with a 101. If y'all only knew how much prep time it took to get to the segment off the ground here, because I just kind of trying to wrap my head around all the technology, and it can get so overwhelming. And all we know is we want to be able to connect with our phones, iPads, Apple TV, all that stuff in our house, and we need Wi-Fi. We need our internet access for that. So we talked a little bit with Sandy last month about Wi-Fi and how you all can kind of help take it to the next level, assess what we've got going on in the house. But let's kind of like take it all the way back to kind of, again, Wi-Fi 101 and to our Time Warner or Hargrave connection, and then what you all can offer from there.
Sure. You know, there's lots and lots of products these days that access the internet for some reason or another. TVs, Blu-ray players, game consoles, phones, iPads, all of these kind of devices. Some of the electronics access the internet to do things like firmware upgrades, and you never really know that happens. TVs, you can stream audio, video, things like Netflix, right, and through Apple TVs as well. So the point of this discussion is really to think about what's behind the access, what's required to access the internet from all of these products.
What the engine, how to make the engine work,
right,
and make it stronger. I like to, you said something off air about making the bubble broader or something, like the access, but like whatever that connectivity is, and broadening that.
When you talk about internet access at home, everybody really just says wireless, but you can connect hardwired as well, and typically the electronic pieces, let's say a direct TV receiver or maybe a surround sound receiver, would be connected with a hardwired connection. In other words, you have a plate in the wall with a connection from a central point, and then you have a hardwired connection on the electronic piece itself, and you just plug the two together with a piece of wire. But you know, as far as the typical consumer, the person in the house, they think of always wireless. Wireless for the phone, for a laptop, you know, iPad, etc., etc. So there's a couple of different ways to access the internet, hardwired or wireless. So when you say bubble, that's typically the wireless bubble. Okay. And sometimes you really need to think ahead of the final finished product. You know, how it will be in the house, how will people use the internet, and think that the wireless access needs to have coverage throughout the whole house. Mm-hmm. You could have something like this, which is a wireless access point. It attaches to the wall, it has wire from it that runs back to the central point, just like the jacks in the wall run back to the central point.
Would be more like a receiver for like...
This is a transmitter.
A transmitter.
Well,
okay.
Actually, it works both ways. So, but this would transmit essentially the internet.
So it gets the stuff from the hard wire. It's on the ceiling or on the wall or wherever throughout the house, and then it's transmitting the signal.
And
out.
That's the wireless part that everybody thinks of.
That's
so
cool.
It is cool. You may have one that looks like this. There's lots of different versions. This is an on-wall or on-ceiling version. But there are ones that just sit on a countertop and have a couple of antennas on them too. You've probably seen these. The point is that the range on these, just like most wireless products, is limited. So if you have one of these, whether it be this kind or the one with the antennas that stick up, that wireless bubble, as we refer to, only goes so far. Mm-hmm. So if you have one of these at one end of the house, you might go with your phone or your iPad and try to stream something at the other end, and you find that the wireless access is slow or none at all. So it's important when you think about if we think about new construction, it's important that we make sure there's wire in place in different locations in the house,
Right.
so that we can add more of these to extend that bubble, make the bubble bigger.
Okay. So what are these then? You said this was a router, so you'd have your modem from Hargray or Time Warner.
Right.
Then you connect to this, and then there are some ports there that if you need more, then
Sure.
you use this.
You mentioned modem. The function of the modem is to take the signal that comes in on your cable feed from the service provider, Hargray or Time Warner, whoever it is, and convert that to a different type of signal, a different type of wiring that can be distributed throughout the house.
Okay.
However, that's not the only piece that's involved. The modem would then connect to the router like this. Sometimes the modems are a combined modem and router in one piece. Sometimes they're a combined modem, router, and wireless access point. It just depends. But they can be configured. If it's a combined piece, they can be configured such that only this part works or only this part works. But let's say that we have the scenario, there's only a modem that's provided by the service provider. The wire would come from the modem, connect to this router, and then the other ports on here can either go out to wall plates in different rooms in the house for the
So
hardwire
you're
connections.
surfacing other rooms, right?
Or they can go out to things like this wireless access point in the ceiling or on the wall in a closet hidden away. So we've got the best of both worlds. We've got hardwired connections from this to jacks in the wall, or we've got hardwired connections from this to wireless access points in the house.
That broadens your bubble.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only a few ports on this though. What happens if we have more rooms or more wireless access points than the number of ports? Easy.
Then you need
We
that.
just extend that from here to something called a switch, like this. An input from the router, and then more ports. And these can be bigger. This is an 8-port switch. We can have 16 or 24.
So
Just
what-
depends on what we need.
Whatever the homeowner's needs are, you all can have it covered, whether it's just the router or you need the switch. And if you need to broaden your wireless bubble, you all can help with that too.
Right.
And it's just a matter of just giving Custom Audio Video a call, stopping down their showroom here in Bluffton, and we can have that. You all have that conversation, assess what their needs are, and get it done. So, Iain, thank you so much. Taking something somewhat confusing and making it very user-friendly, which is something you always do so beautifully. So thank you. And thank you for joining us on this episode of Girl Talk. I'm Debbie Court, and we'll see you next time.